The Summer of Broken Rules, Chapter 5, Part 2. Honey and Aunt Julia supervised little Ethan and Hannah playing with some younger Dupreys at the pond's edge. A tiny green squirt gun was tucked into Aunt Julia's swimsuit, and she kept glancing over her shoulder to scan the beach. "Aunt Julia," Pravika called, "did you get Peter this morning?" My aunt smiled. "Yes." Several yards away, Aunt Rachel looked as carefree as could be, sipping seltzer and swapping People and Us Weekly magazines with Michael's older sister, Cassie. Then there was Sarah, Michael, and their posse. They were lounging in the pond's shallows on top of gigantic pool floats. One was a hot pink flamingo, another a swan, and the third a rainbow unicorn, so big that the groom and 3 of his groomsmen had climbed aboard and were now floating along comfortably. "Over here, guys," Danielle, the maid of honor, shouted from ashore. She raised her phone. "For the gram." Everyone laughed. The 5 of us dispersed among different groups to plant seeds of deception. But after chatting with my parents for a few minutes, I asked my dad what time it was. He grinned and told me I better get going. It was 1 o'clock, and everyone on the vineyard knew Morning Glory's famous pies were set out at 2. Time was ticking. I quickly glanced around for my wingman, but didn't see Whit. He was probably at the annex already. "See you tonight, Meredith," Honey called after me as I tried to sprint through the sand, an impossible feat. Slowing down once I was up and over the dune and passing the dusty cars in the beach's parking lot. Home free, I thought, since nobody was around. The lot appeared safely deserted. Then I heard a voice. "Hey, Meredith," Lily said, and I turned to see her trailing me. "Not in the mood for the beach?" "Oh, yeah, no," I said while reminding myself that her target was someone else in the Fox family, not me. "I actually have to run an errand, so," I gestured at the houses ahead of us. "For Wink and Honey's dinner?" I nodded. Tonight my grandparents were hosting a potluck meal at the bakehouse, but only for their immediate family, children, grandchildren, and spouses or significant others. I guess it seemed exclusive from the outside, but it was one of the few times we were all together during the year. No ifs, ands, and buts about it, Honey always said. "You're there in a chair." Lily and I kept walking together, and as we got closer and closer to the houses, I knew I couldn't put it off any longer. It was time. "I'm sorry, Lily," I told her. "I'm sorry for everything I did last year." I paused to exhale a long breath so my voice wouldn't shake. Or didn't do, really. I was terrible not answering your texts or calls or snaps. Lily was silent. My heart hammered, but it steadied some when I spotted Whit standing by the annex. His t-shirt was now green, the light blue wedding one gone. "Thanks, Meredith," Lily finally said. "That means a lot. It does." She kicked up some dust and added in a smaller voice, "But why? Why didn't you answer them? You know how much I loved her." Her voice dropped even more. "We both needed—" "Hey," Whit called out, cutting her off. "Angel!" Lily stopped in her tracks. Excuse me?" "Don't worry," I said. "It's only a joke. He's harmless." Then I shouted back to Whit, "Shut it, you devil!" Whit broke into his crooked grin. Lily sighed. "So that's him, huh?" I nodded. "Yeah, that's Michael's stepbrother, Whit. We met last night. He's the new Ben." She finished dryly and gestured to Whit. He was now jogging over to us, from the looks of it. "The new Ben?" I tightened my grip on my towel. "What's that supposed to mean?" "I heard you went on a run with him and Michael this morning, at like the crack of dawn. When have you ever gotten up that early?" Thanks a lot, bride and groom, I thought. Michael had indeed told Sarah about this morning, and she spread the word that Whit and I were hanging out, which didn't bother me. But why was Lily on my back about it? Why was she bringing up Ben? I mumbled something like I couldn't sleep, as Whit slowed next to me, a smirk still on his face. The sight made me want to smirk back, even if I had agreed to keep our friendship a secret. It never would have lasted. Whit was too smiley around me, and I found myself too smiley around him. "Hi," Whit said to Lily, offering her a hand to shake, You're Luli, right?" "Yes," she nodded. "And you're the groomsman who got clocked in the face on the ferry." Whit bumped his elbow against mine, setting off a strange sensation spirals over my skin. "Courtesy of this one, yes." Lulu gave me a look. "It's a long story," I said, then tugged Whit's sleeve in the direction of the storage shed. "We needed bikes. I'll tell you later." "Right," she said slowly. "Your errand." "Wait, errand?" Whit said. "I thought you were taking me someplace special." "Morning Glory Farm is special," I said. That made Lulu laugh. "It is, buddy," she told Whit. "Morning Glory Farm is really special." She and I exchanged a smile, and I hoped that meant we were okay, even though I had an inkling that Claire would have said Lulu's smile was strained.